So if you're with a broker right now, because maybe you started investing early on with Robinhood or M1 Finance or Acorns, but now you want to move on to something else like Vanguard or Fidelity or Schwab's, like a big company, you want to have your money super safe and you don't want to worry about anything actually going on, the answer is, how do you transfer your money from one broker to the next without having to worry about taxes and a bunch of other problems actually happening, and maybe even fees overall, because that's also important. So in this video, I'll show you how to actually do that step by step. And guess what? It's not that complicated, and that's why this video is honestly not that long. Now, Tommy, have you ever done this yourself? I've actually done this several times with different brokers. So I did it from M1 Finance. I took money from M1 Finance and sent it over to Vanguard. Before that, I took money from Acorns and sent it over to M1 Finance. And I've done it several times. And sometimes there are fees that you cannot avoid, but it is worth it if you're planning to basically invest with another company for the long term. For me, it is awesome. And sometimes certain companies will have promotions where they actually give you bonus points or bonus money for moving money from your broker to them. But I would make sure that you guys are sure you actually want to have the money with them long term, because it's usually like a 90-day limit where you have to have the money in there for like 90 days or 180 days, something like that. So it's like a trickery in a way. But I switched my money from M1 Finance to Vanguard because I know I want to be with Vanguard for the long term. And they've been around for a very long time. And that's where I want to have my money. Now, if you guys don't know me, my name is TommyBryson. So make sure you actually like this video and top out also subscribe. Now, the first thing is this. How do I move my money without worrying about taxes? First of all, if you're making money, then you have to worry about this. But if you are actually losing money, most likely you don't have to really worry about this. Because if you have a loss, once you sell, you're going to have basically a loss, okay? And you can actually deduct that against your taxes, which is actually great. But if you have a gain, you're going to have capital gains taxes, and you have to worry about that. So if I don't want to sell my investments, and I actually do have a gain in my account, I'm actually making money, how do I do that without worrying about taxes? And is this legal? The answer is yes, it is legal. I am not here to tell you illegal things. But what you actually want to inquire about is an in-kind transfer. That's basically when you grab the assets from one investment company, one broker, and you grab them and transfer them over to the other one without ever selling anything. This way, there was no selling or buying. It was just basically a transfer. It was basically just a move. That's all that happened, okay? So you don't have to worry about taxes. However, if you actually sell, then you might have to worry about taxes, because now you sell, you basically verified a profit and or a loss in this case. If there's a loss, no taxes to worry about. If there's a win, you will actually have to pay taxes. When I did my transfers, I always did an in-kind transfer and I never had to worry about paying taxes. That's the cool thing, all right? Now, how do you actually begin this process from beginning to end? How do you do it? Where do you find out all the information you need? Well, I'm going to try to provide everything here, but different brokers may require different types of information, okay? So the first thing is, usually every broker has a Q&A, and in the Q&A, which is questions and answers, you will usually get all the information you actually need to begin a transfer. Number one, you're usually going to need a username or an account number. Usually for me, it was always an account number. It was never like a username. So where do you find the account number for your brokerage account? The answer is in the statement. So if you actually go to the statement and you download it, usually right there, you're going to see exactly what your account number is and also the type of account you actually have, whether it's retirement or a normal taxable brokerage account. Now, the second thing you actually want to look out for is the dollar amount you actually want to move. Some people just want to do a partial move. Hey, I only want to transfer over my retirement account over here, but leave the other money here. For me, I did a whole move. So it's basically, I transfer all the money I needed. Lastly, you're going to need the name of the company you're transferring from, also their address, and also the clearing company. And there's also something called, for example, the DTC number, which stands for Depository Trust Company number. And that's usually going to be a 4-digit number that contains your specific number for that company. And with that, you're basically good to go and you can begin the transfer online. Now, here's a page right here on M1 Finance that gives you basically a list of all the things you're actually going to require. And it's basically all I said: the account number, the company, the address, the DTC number, and for the most part, that's basically it. You won't need anything else overall most of the time. Now, how long does this process actually take? And tell me, will there be fees? The answer is usually the company that's going to be receiving your money is usually never going to charge you a fee because they want your money. The company is actually that you're transferring from to the other company, they're usually going to charge you a fee because they want your money. They want to keep your money, okay? That's how it works. That's how it works, okay? So that's usually how it works, okay? But for example, here are some general fees that you actually want to look out for. You have M1 Finance. They're going to charge you like around $100, but if you're transferring money in, there's no cost, okay? Vanguard has a zero cost for in and out. Fidelity has a zero cost for in and out. I think Schwab's has a fee of about $50, okay? So this is something you actually want to look out for. But again, it's not something to actually worry you. Like if I have, for example, $3,000 or $2,000 in my account, and you're asking me, Tommy, you know, should I worry about this $50 fee or $100 fee? Just leave my money in there. The answer is no. I'm going to take my money and go to the company where I'm going to be there for the long term. By the way, I think I lied. I've actually transferred money also from Vanguard over to M1 Finance, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, so I've done this several times, but the ultimate company that I use right now is going to be Vanguard because they're trustworthy and I really like them and their customer service is great. Are they paying you to sell these nice things? The answer is absolutely, I wish there were, but they are not. All right, but I like them a lot, guys. But that's basically it. It's not that complicated at all. The transfer usually takes about 5 to 15 minutes to actually do. It takes about 5 to 10 days to actually receive the money. And as long as you inputted all the information correctly, don't worry, the money is actually going to get there. You might have to do a manual transfer in case it doesn't happen, but that's something you want to inquire with your broker to actually make sure everything actually flows. And you want to look into an ACAT transfer. I think that's what I actually called, okay? So it's an electronic transfer, so it's not going to be like a manual transfer, like via mail and all this other stuff. This way, it's easier. Just do it online. And if you're trying to talk to them on the phone, be very careful because they're going to try to convince you to stay with their company and this and that. And some companies, you want to look at this too, some companies don't do in-kind transfers. That basically means that you will have to sell your assets to actually transfer them over. But you want to make sure you read what they say on their website and don't just listen blindly to basically customer service agents because they might have the wrong information. So if an agent's telling you something different from the website, you want to confront them on that and say, hey, this says that you guys actually do that. Because I have read something like that on social media. Well, not social media, like on Reddit. That's not social media. Where you had two companies like Betterment and M1 Finance, and Betterment was like, the experience was this, okay? I'm not saying it's like that right now, but they were like, oh no, we don't do that. You're gonna have to sell this and that. So you wanna verify things very thoroughly before you're forced into selling your assets and having to take some massive taxes, because taxes absolutely suck, especially when it comes to your investment stuff, okay? But guys, thanks for watching. If you got value so far, subscribe to the channel. Only 15% of you subscribe. So if you're watching this video right now, most likely you're not subscribed, so subscribe because you get more content and it helps the channel out a lot. Up here is another video. Keep watching and see you guys next time. As always, peace.